Hi, friends. My name's host Eric. Welcome to my TV show. Today I'm enjoying all the perks and benefits of being a major television personality. Having my own TV show, The Eric Show, on TV, broadcast at least 12 hours a day in various reruns and on different channels everywhere. Being a major television personality like I am, it comes with, comes with good stuff and it comes with some bad stuff too. People run up to you in the street, they say, "Aren't you major television personality, Eric?" I say, "Yeah, I am. I'm totally all over your TV screen. Like, what's the expression? Right on Weiss, I think. Like, right on Weiss. Never understood that expression. Anywho, needless to say, I'm exhausted. I got more thwacked out yesterday than I thought I was going to. And, of course, what's the consequence of that? Well, somebody stayed up all night, thwacking out on stuff. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. That's probably partially why Rachel was a little fussy yesterday. I was super thwacked, which means basically ultra distracted. And I've been listening to it in the car. I'm not very happy with that mix I uploaded. So, probably gonna take it down. I never really know what something sounds like to listen to in the car. The speakers on the TV are pretty generous. Pretty generous speakers. Once I was asked long ago by some grown-up. Okay. There, that's done. I saved the day. Right as everything was just about to fall apart, I stepped in and I saved the day. From that point forward, everyone's lives was changed for the better. Wow, that's nice. This INFJ memes video has got 25 likes and no thumbs down and 157 views. That's pretty good, I must say. The convenience of auto reply. Well, I mean, the thing is, I listen to it on at least four sets of speakers, which is say 2 headphones and the TV and the car. The car will tell me if it was too muddy, or also if it doesn't have enough high end. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with this mix that I just took down, but when I listened to it in the car, the vocals didn't come through very much. Vocals always come through more on the TV than they do in the car. So, I'm accustomed to listening to stuff in the car a lot, and my speakers are pretty faithful. They're a little bassy, but all car speakers are a little bassy. Hi, Rafael Alvieros. Alvieros. Alv, Alvieros. Why can't I ever pronounce your name? God damn it, Eric. Now I did it. Now I ruined everything. I spilled beer. This is not the first beer I spilled today either. When I was unpacking some stuff from the grocery store earlier, I was taking one 6-pack out, and I guess one of the caps of one of the other O'Douls from another 6-pack caught on the cardboard edge of the box or something. Because I pulled out this 6-pack, put it in the fridge, and it carried an extra beer from another 6-pack with it, which then fell on the ground and broke. I was like, what happened there? I had trouble figuring it out for a second because I was like, okay, did I knock over a whole 6-pack? The 6-pack in my hand still had all 6 beers in it, you know? Anyway. But, that's just the story of my life, right? That's what you say all the time to me. That's the story of your life. You're doing computer science and it's TI heavy. Shows your mom's face. Your mom's face is like a book of deductive reasoning problems. Very TI heavy. It's cool, like, giving. Like, it's cool giving TI test to the ICP girl that I work with, because I'd given a couple of them to her at some point in the past, I guess, but I never said, okay, well, why don't we sit down and work on syllogisms? Let's see how you do with those. Why don't we work on mission generalizations as curricula? And man, she just tears it to pieces. It's like, wow. It's so shocking because any kind of assignment that I work with her on that requires her to generate any ideas, it's like pulling teeth, It's so it's so refreshing to have her be running out in front of the pack, so to speak. It's just her. I mean, it's like I like it when I don't have to slow down for the kids that much. I think the thing is probably the way coding is typically taught, it's probably taught poorly. Teaching is a difficult skill to master or get good at, and it is much more distinct skill than people typically think of it as being. So, this is my television program. I'm on television, and you are currently watching this being broadcast on your television across the airwaves, the old school style. I don't come in on cable, I only come in on broadcast TV. No, I'm fully aware that I'm broadcasting. What I want to talk about when I started this live stream? I think there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. Hello, Kittiness. I had a few different thoughts in my head. One of them is is about, I guess you'd say, like the weirdness of a lack of clear consensus on matters of purpose and stuff for humanity. Like, there are all these people in the world who position themselves as experts in certain matters. And then there are other people in the world who, whether they position themselves as this way or not, are perceived as wise, as having the answers in some sense. And I think that we all kind of imagine that there's some set of people out there or some individuals out there that really understand it all, and get it, and like it's there to be gotten, at least in theory. Of course, people can answer those questions in various ways, but and they may find those answers satisfactory, but it doesn't mean that anything close to consensus on it. We never meet them truly. What are you talking about, Raphael? Your testicles? You just have to look down. They're right here, right? Just look right down there. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you got a belly, you might have to move it aside a little bit. I don't know if you do or not. No, Raphael, that's your penis. No, below that, underneath it. Yeah, just lift that up. There. See? They were there the whole time. Well, see, a little more. That's exactly the sort of thing I thought I had preempted with my explanation. As I said there, what I'm saying is, regardless of how satisfied any individual may be with their answers, it is nevertheless the case that there's not consensus about those answers, right? So I'm not trying to engage about your correctness or not correctness. But I just want you to remember something, Lawnmower. It's pretty important. I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. I don't know if that's an actual religious song or if it's a song I made up myself, or if I'm pretty sure it's either a song I made up myself or an actual religious song. I know that I sang it when I see the sign of my ex-wife's mom's house. She had a sign on the wall. Can you guess what it said? That's right. It said, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. All things? Normally what I would say. Something like that, probably. Meatloafs. It just hints at it for a second, right? But pretty different, really. I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me. Versus, I would do anything for you, but I won't do that. Well, I mean, I know as for fact, in fact, that even Christianity's core documents don't try to make Christianity a totalizing frame. So even if you were to accept those answers as wholly resolving those questions regarding teleology, those aren't the only kind of questions we have about our ontologies. So, irrelevant. Drake and Dwayne? Who's Drake and Dwayne? Who's Dwayne? Oh, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I see. I got you now. Now I understand. I've understood things. I understand stuff, and I won't forget you, baby, red buff. Your video with famous person Jordan just came from 3 years ago. She was brilliant. Did you ever go to? No, I'm back to Kansas. I'm afraid I get arrested. Apparently I allegedly shot a handgun at geese that I wasn't supposed to shoot at. So I haven't been back to Kansas. You gotta be careful not to shoot at the wrong birds, I guess. Not that I did. I'm not saying I did that. Who knows if I did that? There's a video. On the video, you can hear some birds squawking off to the side. And you can see me firing a gun. But you can't actually see me firing a gun at the birds. And you can't see what kind of birds they are. Now, sure, I'm sure some sort of animal biologist or something would say they can identify those squawks as goose squawks. But my position is they were mutated ducks. They were evolving from ducks into geese as I was allegedly shooting at them. This is called turning evolution against them, you see. You can't prove that species, because that's what species it was. It's in the process of evolving right now. It's a deuce or guck, okay? It was not a goose. It's just that it evolved the sounds of the goose first. Because you artist, you have authority of God naturally. No duck-sized geese or geese-sized ducks. We're talking about the purported, and I guess that would be the right term here. It wouldn't be alleged because, alleging they did anything, but the purported geese that I allegedly shot at with a supposed handgun. Anyhow, so let's review the case here of the purported goose molestation. That's what they call it too in the fish and game department. If you bother the wild animals, so it's like they used to have signs up that say, don't molest the wildlife, but you don't see those signs anymore. It was 100% Taylor's fault. It's true. I mean, look, I felt pretty proud of myself because I was careful not to shoot myself or anybody else the whole time. I don't have a lot of gun experience in my life. We're not a big gun family. My dad's got a rifle, but it's like a single bullet bolt action rifle. Ay. Is that video still up? Of Jordan? Probably, maybe. Or maybe Taylor took it down. I don't know. But the thing about that is I tried to take down all my videos that had any minors in them because I just, YouTube all of a sudden got like super freak outy about that stuff. And so, even though everything I put up was totally, completely above board, legit, banal, I just figured just anything that has a minor in it, just delete it. It's not worth the risk. Or he was consuming Mason information. Mason information, like how to build a brick wall. A better question, Cloud, is why can sun have only one god? As for me and my family, we choose the Lord. God said it. I heard it. That settles it. You know, we Christians aren't perfect, just forgiven. Isn't that nice? I like that. Hey, no God, no peace. No God, no peace. Pretty heavy stuff. Pretty good. Come on, everybody. Let's fellowship. Okay, I want us all linking arms. Oh, worship, Lord, Lord, worship. Oh, sorry, God. I mean, any offense. It just seems kind of silly to me. You know, you get it. Okay, all right. It's funny though. Yeah, he's laughing too. God's laughing at it too. And the Father, and he did come, and you are healed. That's my Benny Hinn impression. Don't you hate it, lawnmower? When you go over to a neighbor's house, when they're praying to Shiva. I do. I'm Andy Rooney. It used to be, you'd go over to people's houses, everybody was Christian. I liked it better that way. Nowadays, they might be praying to Shiva or Biva or I don't even know Weeva. I'm Andy Rooney. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for chiming in. You're always welcome to stop by and chime in anytime you'd like. Have you ever noticed how you can't discriminate between gods and Hinduism? I have. I'm Andy Rooney. It used to be you could tell apart your Shiva from your Bodhisattva. Nowadays, they all mush together. I don't like the way it is now. I prefer the way it used to be. I'm Andy Rooney. Thanks, Andy. Yes, possibly true, Lawnmower, but you can distinguish between cods. Different areas of the ocean will provide different species of cod, and you are entirely allowed to differentiate between those species in Hinduism. You know, a lot of people come in here and they just want to start fights or do battles or be disagreeable or whatever all the time. You know, it doesn't really matter to me a lot of times because I sort of get into this spirit of who cares? I don't fucking care. I'm not going to get dragged into it. I'm getting a little bit better at not getting dragged into shit, you know. But I mean, well, there's an ebb and flow to the spirit of the space, you know. Sometimes in here things are pretty friendly and gentle, and you know it's all kumbayas, and sometimes it's all provocation and projection and FE attacks and all that kind of shit. Well, you know, I did want to talk something. That was one of the topics I wanted to talk about was social media and people feeling as though it's not a rewarding experience ultimately. You know, it's like if it's too emotionally bruising, then people will bow out. I've seen plenty of people leave TWFP because it's too emotionally bruising, or just because they're ENFPs and they're on their own thing. You know, that's possible too. But I have heard that from an ENFP before that it was too emotionally challenging. A coffee, a joint, and talking to famous people get you moist for a long day of work. Okay. Well, this unfortunately talking with famous people, so look, the thing is, a lot of people don't like to be in a place where somebody's trying to, you know, there's constant back and forth, trying to get the upper hand in the communication. You know. I try to. Look, the thing is, I'm nobody. I'm not one to talk to anybody about it. Really, I can be very insensitive in my rhetoric when dealing with people. I can be. I mean, I don't typically consider or think of how they're going to feel after the live stream. You know, it's not something that crosses my mind. But I know from my own experiences that sometimes when you get schools online, it sticks with you. It has with me before. I can remember still specific instances from a long time ago where I got schooled, and it it hurts, you know. But it's funny, I guess, because it's bipolar. I don't think about it in those terms really. I try to be nice, but of course, the thing is, when you say like, well, I'm trying to be nice. Usually, I'm trying to be nice. Not always. Sometimes I'm in kind of a pissy mood, but I'm trying to be nice is not that significant a factor because if you have a lot of other people who are trying to not be nice, then it can be a challenge. And the thing is, there's trying to be nice, there's trying to be mean, which is like spite monkeys, but then there's a whole bunch of shit in between, right? There's a whole universe between Zandy and Becky, for example, right? It's like it's easy when you get somebody who's at one far into the spectrum. Nobody's gonna have problems with Zandy, and you know it's not gonna be possible to have this kind of like sort of open and honest engagement without getting a lot of spite from Becky in this environment anyway. So the point is, most people aren't at one end of that spectrum or the other. So like everybody here has rubbed somebody, I'm sure, the wrong way at some point, pretty much. Like I know a Kyra's gotten into battles before. I don't remember who with, but she got upset before about something, I remember, and went away for a little while. Raphael tries to get into fights, used to try to get in fights with me all the time. Lawnmower's getting progressively more spiny about stuff. I mean, that's the thing, Lawnmower. Like, okay. Okay, imagine if you were to accomplish what you wanted to narratively with your woman stuff that you like to say. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, you win, you're right. Remember like this, remember like that, remember like the other thing. That wouldn't give you any satisfaction. You still wouldn't feel as though things have been rectified. You know? There's no reward down that path that sort of hold a kernel of for the blameworthy because you've identified a group that there's nothing good comes out of it. I mean, I'm serious. It's like, even if you got everybody to agree with you completely, 100%, it would just be depressing. It would just be like, well, now I really have to believe the world is this shitty. You know? It's not like that. I understand that sometimes it is like that. But, you know. It's like, it's like in a relationship towards the end of it, and things are falling apart. You go like, you just need to understand these words. And of course, it's one more. I don't agree with you at all about what you're saying. I don't have any of those kind of feelings. These are feelings-based positions you're holding. And the reason is I'm saying that is not because they may or may not be like you could possibly put together a case that was maybe strong, maybe weak, I don't know, in defense of whatever your various positions are. But I mean, it wouldn't even matter because it just fundamentally loses on framework. Okay, it's like this weird sort of anthropologization of women as products of their biology in a way that somehow men are not. This is a phenomenon that links to like MGTOW stuff, incel stuff. What I'm telling you is, number one, don't fool yourself and try to convince yourself it's something other than that. That's what it is. And it's just how it is. It's an insecurity that's expressing poorly. But what I'm mostly telling you, though, is no matter how well you play that game, you always lose. No, well, no, not at all. I'm saying when you choose to pick a fundamentally broken framework like groupism, in other words, you don't want what do you get to avoid doing by having this frame, this sort of women are like meow frame that you've got? What do you get to avoid doing? You get to avoid interacting with woman. They're always women, right? So that means you don't have to think about this individual human being who's right in front of you and their various unique attributes, deficits, whatever, which, the composite of the various elements of their identity is going to vastly outweigh this one vector of female reproductive biology. See what I'm saying? And it really is. It's fear of rejection. It's internalized. It's internalized inadequacy that produces this. Women need to have choice removed from them. Basically, is the thing that's behind it. It's like, well, since they're not choosing me, they must be driven by their biology to make the wrong choice. Because if they were a rational human being, they'd choose me, obviously. Of course, they would choose you if you just put away this silly nonsense. It's like, there's no they. That's the other thing. There's no they. You don't ever end up dating women, okay? You don't end up going out with women. You don't end up being with women. You end up going out with a person, a human being who's female. Rachel is so unbelievably different than Kimberly. One more. I didn't say anything remotely like that. When somebody misframes what I said that badly, it makes me smell a Rorschach test. Like, wait. Why are you seeing a bag full of penises in the sink plot? What are you trying to tell me here? You know? Look, I don't need to protect Rachel. Okay? I'm no concern about Rachel. If she gets mad at you and curses you out and stuff, well, understandable. She's ignored plenty of nonsense, I'm sure, in the interim. Look, what I'm saying is, why are you trying to reduce the extent to which you have to treat that human as a human? Why are you trying to eliminate chunks of her humanness so that you can just deal with her as a woman instead? What's the point? It can't possibly serve any good purpose. The actual experience and knowledge of the individual human being will always be more informative to you than your perceptions about women. Okay, let me follow this logic here. I like it. I'm liking this logic. I have a lot of cellulite. It is said to be a secondary female sex characteristic. If men don't want to bust a nut to it, they're secretly gay. You are doing science, Tiny Man 66. I've not seen your cellulite, but let's just assume your science is right, and I would want to bust a nut to it, but obviously, even the most tempting of cellulite is off limits for me. So, I mean, it's like when I hear Lawnmower say something like Rachel's. What does he say she is? Immature and meow meow or something. I don't know. Immature and something. I probably retracted it. It's like of course I want to defend her somewhat, but um what was the other word you used? Immature and what? I don't remember. But yeah, she's kind of immature, I guess. Am I immature? Immature and unstable. She's the stablest person I've ever been with when she's properly medicated. She and I have no volatility between us at all. None. It is a placid lake. There's just no conflict. So easy. It's like yesterday, we certainly didn't okay, lawnmower. So she has a mental illness that when she takes the right psych drugs, it goes dormant like a volcano. Okay. She's not drugged up, if that's what you're saying. Not at all. No, she's getting the medicine that her brain chemistry requires for her to be herself. So is she susceptible to instability when she doesn't receive the necessary medical attention that she requires? Yes. But she doesn't agree with everything I say. It doesn't work like that, Martin. No. It really doesn't. It's like, first of all, number one, I don't have any problem with her disagreeing with me about anything. I've never had any problem with anybody disagreeing with me about things. She thought she was gonna get into a fight or something with me about gun laws yesterday, right? But the problem is well, she didn't agree with me yesterday about gun laws. That was clear. There's a couple of different political things where she's disagreed with me and felt quite strongly sometimes. The problem for her and anybody else who wants to get into who wants to make politics emotional is I'm just too rational about it. It's not possible to get me. Like, I'm not going to get in a fight with my significant other over politics because, it's like, first of all, it's like my significant other can't handle a real conversation about it, whatever it is, whoever she is, unless, all the ones I've ever had anyway. What I mean by that is if Rachel wants to disagree with me about my position on gun laws, well, first she's going to have to determine what my position is because she kept insisting we were in disagreement. I said, I haven't said what any positions are yet. So you haven't disagreed with me yet. You don't know if you have. You don't know if you're in disagreement. You're just assuming you are because, but whatever. It didn't even get to that. I didn't even get into that conversation. I don't care. So what? Doesn't bother me. It's like this is the thing. It is very easy for me to get along with somebody who's not malicious, who's not trying to cause problems, who's not frequently and repeatedly crossing boundaries, behaving badly, engaging in toxic bullshit, and otherwise. I could put up with a certain amount of stuff too. It doesn't have to be. I would be perfectly happy in a much less good relationship than this. I don't need an angel. I just need somebody who is genuinely on my team. We're on the same team and well intentioned and not broken like BPD, Lawnmower, I mean, you can say those things, but yeah, she got mad. She got mad at you. So the next time I talked to her after she got mad at you, she came in and apologized to me for getting mad at you. I said, I don't give a fuck. You know, Lawnmower, you need to try to think a little bit, okay? I've been with Rachel for a year, okay? I know he's trying to say that. All right. I've been with Rachel for a year, okay? Now, and I've been completely honest about the relationship the whole time. We know this because I've shared all of our fights, every single one, as I always do. When I have a fight, what do? Go online and start talking about it. What haven't you heard in 6 months? Or maybe 5? What haven't you heard anything about? What haven't you heard one peep about in 5 months, Lamar? Now, this is if you want to actually try to think. If you just want to play little pissy guy, then fine. But if you want to man up, then think. What haven't you seen any evidence of at all? And knowing that I'm not covering anything up, because I showed all the dirty stuff when it was happening, what haven't you seen any evidence of? Any conflict at all between me and Rachel? Not a tiny shred. You've seen nothing but and heard nothing from me but evidence of the contrary. So isn't it more likely, one more, that she was pissed at you because you were being a douchebag as usual? Isn't that a little bit more likely than her being pissed at me since I didn't do anything? Okay, well, if you still want to fight this fight, then you're just, clinging to the rock that carries you to the bottom of the ocean, doubling down, tripling. And one thing I would tell the whole world, I could get one lesson across to the world, one piece of universal advice everybody has to listen to. When you are wrong, don't double down. Abandon your wrong position forthwith, so you don't have to stubbornly cling to the rock as it's carrying you to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, I'm sure she did, but because when she was disagreeing with me, she may have been upset, but she wasn't mad at me because I wasn't reducing her to a toddler because I was projecting onto her my own insecurities. That's what you were doing. I mean, it's like, here she goes. Here it comes. Here comes that woman hormone shit. You're just, it's just, the thing about it is, Lawnmower, well, she was getting heated. She was. I don't doubt that she was getting heated. But you're ignoring what I'm saying. And when people ignore what I say, that means they don't deserve to talk to me anymore. I don't ignore what they say. I never ignore what you say. I actually agree with what you say and respond to it on point. But you ignore what I say. So there's no point in talking to you anymore. I mean, Rachel does believe in me, but I mean, it's more than that and simpler than that too. It's like she might have been mad at me yesterday somewhat because I was really thwacked out and very distracted all day long. And it was kind of a fussy day. We've both been kind of fussy the last few days, not feeling necessarily that well, maybe because of like a delayed effect of right. That's totally true, Tiny Man 66. It is true. And it's bullshit. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You have a choice, Lawnmower. You have a choice as to the following thing. Now, am I only allowed to be valid in certain contexts? And am I to be immediately dismissed and have my perspectives eliminated from consideration because I'm a dude? You see, the answer is no. You're not interested in explaining to me how part of my identity prevents me from being as fully human as you are. So it's like, you don't try to say, Eric, listen, you're never going to be able to understand as well as I can because you're transracial and I'm not. You never said that to me, right? You've never said, Eric, listen, you're not really qualified to be president because you're pretty hormonal. You're getting into that age when you're nearing menopause. You've never said anything like that to me, right? So the thing is, the reason I don't ever bother doing anything like groupism is because I always know that if anybody pulls any bullshit, it's the same problem every single time. It's always the same problem. It's not that they're a woman. It's not that they're this race. It's not that they're this age. It's not that they're yeah. It's not that they're yeah. It's not that they're yeah. It's not this reason of theirs or that reason of theirs. This reason of theirs. It's that they pull bullshit in front of or on me. So, pow, pow, pow. I don't need to worry about what fucking stupid identity markers they have. If they behaved badly, that's all the information I need. If they didn't, also all the information I need. Except when it comes to mothers' faces. Those things are filthy, filthy sluts. All of them. Hey, Tiny Man 66. You can give somebody testosterone poisoning. You don't want that to happen. If you get testosterone poisoning, you grow hair all over your body. And you regrow your foreskin if you were circumcised. Plus, your umbilical cord comes out and attaches itself to a pregnant woman. All over my face. Exactly. That's where most things go most of the time. What are we going to do with this gloppy substance? Hello? Right here. Just pour it on. What are you doing? That's what my face is for. Winston's mom is a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. That's what they say. Eugenics is the masculine form of the name Eugenia, which is an Eastern European name meaning flower of the sunrise. Eugenics has been shortened to Eugene in English. I had an uncle Eugenics. He really wanted to breed certain people with each other. I never understood why. Eric, you are so full of jokes. Well, Lawnmower, here's the thing. Here's an important distinction. When she attacked Winston's mom, she was batshit crazy. She's not batshit crazy at all right now. And just because when she attacked Winston's mom, she was crazy. And that would be crazy because Winston's mom's a delight. Show of hands. Who here finds Lawnmower a delight? Me every once in a blue moon? I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's like I punched a kid in the face when I was in fifth grade. That doesn't make me the aggressor when I get mugged by somebody in the park. You know, it's like, here's the thing, 3DR Nomad. I seem to be more or less immune to people maneuvering me. It's like, I've had this happen plenty of times with this ENFJ named Nick, who he always seemed to think that, like, he was going to, first of all, at some point, uncover my real dirty secret inside is really there, you know, because nobody's not dirty. And then also, he was constantly sort of trying to lead me astray. So he'd walk like this sort of series of steps, each of which was fine, getting me closer and closer to this area that was not fine by my understanding. And he kept thinking that I just sort of follow him across the line. But I never follow him across the line, of course. I know exactly where the line is. And depending on how he tries to take me across it, even though I might appear in that moment completely oblivious of the fact that we're near the line, I am absolutely not. And depending on how he attempts to get me across the line, he may find himself in the middle of a bear trap and about to be torn to shreds. So I don't worry about anybody. I don't worry about predicting things. Nobody's going to lead me astray. And anybody who tries, it's not going to go pretty for them, that's for sure. I just don't worry about, I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff like that at all. I have faith in my moral calculi, and I have faith in my intuition. And that's bolstered by my general hesitancy to jump into shit, you know? I mean, like little projects and stuff, fine, but big choices, Kyra, I'll tell you what's even cheaper than that. You need to get on my all dirt and twigs diet. I will provide you the dirt and twigs for just $20 a month. You eat nothing but that dirt and twigs, and you are going to see the pounds just drop right off. Not that you need to lose any weight. You're pretty skinny already, but, you know, still, it's very, very natural. All raw dirt and twigs. No cooking to take any of the nutrition away. That's right. And, you know, we made sure to kill all the bacteria in the soil so that it's vegan. But being in a bad relationship, which we all have been part of, is due to a lack of various factors into account, taking various factors into account. Yeah, I mean, I think bad relationships are, they manifest in a couple of different ways. They're a bad relationship because, you know, you two are oil and water. Like me and Kimberly were just so ill-suited for each other. Even if she hadn't been BPD, we were so, it's like, we were so incompatible in every way. Well, not in every way. In some ways, we were sort of compatible, but anyhow. But then there's other bad relationships where you've got two people who are both relationship-minded, trying their best to be good partners in a relationship, but they're just not with the right person, and it breaks down over time. That's kind of like my second marriage, you know? It's interesting how so many men these days are obsessed with this incel bullshit. I mean, it must be some sort of biological defect of men, I guess. I'm not saying all men. You know, not all men are obsessed with this incel bullshit. It's just it's a biological tendency of men, you know, to get into this kind of shit because of their hormones and stuff. I'm saying borderline personality disorder. Here's the thing. My last girlfriend had BPD. That's a disorder. That's not a mental illness. That's a disorder. So it's a behavioral problem. My current girlfriend has bipolar mania. Now, that is a mental health issue, an actual mental illness that can be treated with a specific pill. In fact, they recently, not that long ago, determined that mixing two pills, one of which is Prozac and one of which is another mood stabilizer, it's like the magic bullet for the kind of bipolar mania that Rachel has. So it's markedly different experience, right? If you're dealing with somebody with a disorder, then that's something that you can never solve. You can only manage. They can get better, and they can gradually start to behave less badly. But the problem with something like BPD is it's a behavioral disorder. The problem is they don't behave themselves. Whereas if you get bipolar mania, we had trouble with it for I didn't say you, lawnmower. Hey, I'm just talking about men in general. I wasn't talking about you. I didn't name you. I'm just talking about men in general because of their biological defects, because they're kind of like animals, unlike women who are fully realized people. I'm just talking in general about men. I didn't say anything about you. So anyway, the bipolar thing was certainly challenging, and would certainly have ended the relationship soon enough if we hadn't gotten it fixed. But we did get it fixed, and it was so gratifying because that's the sort of thing that I'm actually usually wrong about. I have a lot of faith that I'm going to be able to fix my girlfriend. I've had a lot of faith in this since I was 18 years old or 17, I have had so much faith in my ability to fix my girlfriend. And it has always been ill-placed faith. I should not have had that much faith in my ability to fix my girlfriend. This time, it worked. I actually fixed her, or the psychiatrist did, and it's a miracle. And the thing is, it turns out that all my bullshit stories I was telling at the beginning of the relationship, which I always tell at the beginning of the relationship, to make sure that we set the narrative right, You set all the narratives right, then that's what reality becomes, because feelings aren't real things anyway. Of course, what's my definition of an incel? I don't know. Anybody who bitches about hypergamy. If you bitch about hypergamy, you just might be self-identify as a beta male, not beta quadra. If you talk about hormones a lot, even though you're a dude, you just might be into MGTOW bullshit. That's Jeff Foxworthy. I like comedians that have a shtick like that you can imitate easily. Rodney Dangerfield had that too. I don't get no respect. The thing with his tie, You make his tie go to the side. It's the pendulum effect, Eric. When it goes too far one way, it wants to go back the other way. So it's not just my pendulum that does that? I was thinking there was something wrong with my pendulum. It's like, I cannot get this thing to stop swinging. What type is likely to be an incel? I would guess probably TENI probably. Like INTJs maybe. NTPs maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe, I don't know. The number of antelope and gazelles have plummeted in sub-Saharan Africa. Are they gentrifying the coast? Is that what's happening? Have the antelope and the gazelle found beachfront property? Is that why they're leaving sub-Saharan Africa? The antelopes went up to all the people who live there and say, hey, guys, listen. I don't want to talk shit, but you sub-Saharan Africans have really got a bad reputation, kind of in the international scholarly literature, so to speak. So the gazelles and us antelopes, we're gonna bail. Okay, we're gonna go either actually Sahara or even maybe above Sahara. What's the opposite of sub? I don't know. Like, transcenda Sahara. What's if there's sub-Saharan Africa? What's above Sahara? North Africa, I guess. Can you define how a girl with no baggage looks like? Everybody has baggage. It depends on whether you want to call it baggage or not. It's like, presumably baggage is scarring or wounding and not damage. If it's damage, then it's not baggage, it's damage. You can't fix damage, but you can heal wounded to a certain extent. So Dom Sahara. Shit. Is that the green trash can? I better take the green trash can out. Well, Eric, you fucked up. You fucked it up. You fucked it up, and there's nothing else you can say about it. It's like I thought, I don't know, I took out the blue trash can, I took out the black trash can. But But the green trash can is in a different place than those two. So I guess I just thought I'd take that one out a little later. It's only 7:30 and already they picked up the green trash can. Not my green trash can, of course. Fortunately, we have two green trash cans. The one in the backyard here was empty. But it turns out the one in the front was full. So now what am I going to do? Now I have to keep that trash can full of leaves for a whole week. Tara didn't sleep around. She slept through. Much more direct route. Baggy is habits of mistrust carried forward from previous relationships, basically. I do. The green trash can. It's the yard waste trash can, right? Because they turn it into mulch or something. I don't know. But the gardeners came yesterday. I didn't see any green trash in this green trash can, so I just was like, I didn't really think any further than that. I knew there was another trash can, green trash can. I thought, I'll get it out there before the trash comes. Well, they came so early, 7:30. What the fudge? I was not being jaded. The way to put it is habits of mistrust. Now, that can play out in a lot of different ways. Like, it depends on basically how you got burned. So, like, when I first started dating Candace, I was very worried about being cheated on because I'd been cheated on in my relationship prior to that. Prior to being cheated on, I was remarkably naive and trusting about it. Like, never crossed my mind to even doubt my partner, you know? But then, after partner one, wife one, cheated on me, then wife two got to bear a lot of totally undeserved and unnecessary suspiciousness, you know? I don't really remember. Maybe I just asked her a bunch of questions, you know, or just periodically got suspicious. I don't think it was like a big. I mean, Candace was another healthy relationship partner. So as long as you have somebody who has a healthy attachment style, then you'll probably get over that shit pretty quickly because you'll be comfortable reassuring each other and you'll actually be trustworthy. So. Our female pair bonding is called scissoring. There's a word for it. Well, I mean, the thing about that, Sam Smith, is like if you end up living with your significant other, then you're gonna have it's gonna be sort of easy and simple to do things with that person, you know? So if you get somebody who you're very comfortable doing things with, then that's great. I've seen Kyra sleep under, over, through, between. I've never seen her sleep around. Male pair growing. I mean, just think about how Jesus would be perceived now. He'd be perceived as an absolute terrorist. Why? Because he went to help the lepers. No mask. He could have easily got and spread leprosy. He's washing the feet of all these people who probably have diseases. Thanks to our new COVID world, we understand now just how wrong of him that was. Sam Smith, you get over here right now. I'm rubbing my leprous junk on your face. And you'll see. Your nose falls off. You'll see. Rub it out of here. It's just ice cream. Not ice. Flirting's only sinful when it involves anal fisting. I flirt with my fists. Kyra, we all saw you and Winston's mom scissoring in the chat the other day. There's no point in lying about it. You know, Genexio, he was actually immune to pointy things. There were only 4 spots on his body that weren't immune to pointy things. Just so happened to be his palms and his feet. The Romans didn't even know that. They just got incredibly lucky. Kind of like COVID. Well, Kyra, I will say this. Much though I respect Christian girls, the notion that Christian girls are somehow virginal and pure, mostly bullshit. Yeah. Christian girls, right? It's like, well, as I mentioned before, if you want to see what Christian girls are like, you should watch on Pornhub there's this porn site that puts out Mormon themed porn, where the 2 Mormon elders get wind that young co-ed Jenny has not been wearing modest enough clothing. on their Mormon mission, naturally, they're going to need to strip her down, spank her, and face fuck her because that's the Christian thing to do. You know, Mormons. You've met Mormons before, right? You've met Mormons. You know about the face fucking, right? By the way, if you actually let a Mormon missionary come into your house, that's what happens. He pushes your head back against the couch, just like plow, plow, plow. So don't let them in. Jehovah's Witnesses are even worse. They bring a massive dildo with them, and as soon as you close that door, it's a one-way ticket to Pound Town, baby. Yeah, Kyra, keep believing that I want to be close to you. So look, that's the answer when the girl or the guy, depending, when the girl or the guy asks, "Hey, why is your fist up my ass?" You say, "I just want to be close to you." Hey, sweetie, this is how I get close. 2 fists up the anus. You like our tender times, don't you? Our tender moments? I don't think they're tender at all. Well, 3DR Nomad, I will tell you a story about the Mormon teacher that I used to work next door to. And when I was at Rebbe, she worked across the hall from me. She was also middle school. We had the 3rd floor. The middle school did. So every room on the 3rd floor was middle school. Anyway, I don't know why I included that detail. It's totally irrelevant. So, anywho, Mormon lady, I asked her some questions about Mormonism, very, very casual. I was just curious. I wasn't trying to get Mormonism or, I'm not trying to get people's religion, like get them on it or whatever. But I asked her about the polygamy thing. She said, well, the reason it used to be like that is that in the Mormon Indian Wars, the Indians killed so many Mormon men that there was a excess of women, and we had to rebuild the population up. That's I'm sure that's not true. That's what she said. She said we don't do it anymore. Once we got the population built back up, then we stopped doing that. So I guess that's what they tell the Mormons. I don't know. The Indians killed too many Mormon men. That's why polygamy. Perhaps nothing happened to her. Perhaps she happened to something. There's actually more women in this world than there are men now. That's a fact. Hooray! Horrors for everyone! Is that the right answer? Is that what I was supposed to say? I think so. There's this episode of Fantasy Island where the guy his fantasy is to have a harem. All right. And so the way the show explains how Ricardo Montalban acquired the harem is he borrowed it from a sheik friend of his or a sultan. I really don't think that would play in contemporary TV, right? Um, of course, all the girls in the harem were all like, "Ee," all over the nerdy guy who had this fantasy of the harem. Of course, if Fantasy Island were really a place where you could go, everybody's fantasies would be like that. Nobody would have fantasies like, I want to experience Mia for the first time. What's your fantasy? They'd be like, there'd be 2 check boxes on Fantasy Island. What's your fantasy? Fuck a lot of bitches. Take a lot of dick. Those are the two boxes you can check basically on Fantasy Island. I mean, I don't really have one, If I went to Fantasy Island, I don't know. The whole point of Fantasy Island is the thing's not real. That happens is just temporary. It lasts for a couple of days or whatever. I mean, I don't really have fantasies. I have things that I would like to happen, but Sam Smith, are you reading my mind? Did you look behind my forehead? It must have been printed right there on the front of my brain, huh? No, I don't want to sodomize Jordan Peterson. I just want to cuddle with him. That's all. I think Jordan Peterson could use a good cuddle. I'm a good cuddler, so he's gonna really feel a lot better after cuddling with me. I think who I think needs a cuddle more even than Jordan Peterson maybe is Sam Harris. You can feel Sam Harris stepping carefully all the time, Teletubbies with huge tits hugging me. Huge titted Teletubbies. Is that my fantasy? Learn something new every day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not attracted to the Teletubbies. I wonder if you would want to save yourself for marriage if you were an Instagram model with 500K followers, a house in LA, and a lot of money. I mean, that's one of the interesting things about aging is if I experienced a lot of success at a young age, I definitely would have turned out very differently. Success came grudgingly to me. I guess coaching debate is the first thing that I really felt fully successful at. I felt like a pretty good English teacher, but I really felt like, oh, okay. Debate affords me a chance to, test myself, push myself, actually have what I'm doing matter. I mean, I think he needs a hug because he's an INFJ and he's worried about getting caught. Worldly pleasures. Are you talking about like Epcot Center or The Hague? Perhaps UN General Assembly? Are those worldly pleasures? I don't even think of those as pleasures at all, frankly. So much meowing. I would like us all to do the following thing. Listen carefully. This is pretty important. It's a formal ritual of meow removal. We're all going to remove a little bit of meow from us right now, okay? What you do, first you take your hands, you're going to gather the meow from around the stomach or waist area and push it up just with a breath. You're going to eject the meow like this. There. Oh, that's better. I got at least 6 or 8 units of meow out. Let me do it one more time. Yeah. I mean, you got to eject meow. It's going number 4. You got to go pee. That's number 1. You got to go poo. That's number 2. You got to go semen. That's number 3. And you got to go meow. That's number 4. I just went meow. It's 7:48 at 9 a.m. No, I pay somebody to do it. It's expensive too because my car uses full synthetic oil. I mean, it just isn't worth it for me to do it. It's like the amount of time and energy that goes into it, plus I still have to buy the oil. It's just like, fuck it. I can only read minds when they're written in Braille because I'm mind reading blind. But I had an excellent teacher. No, I don't feel emasculated paying someone. Not at all. I don't want to change the oil in my car. I mean, I think people sort of more legitimately feel threatened when they're being when they're sort of like losing in their native area. So even though it's not considered a particularly masculine quality, it would probably make me feel emasculated to have somebody come and like, okay, if you ever see the movie Amadeus, there's a scene where Scolari, the other composer, has written this piece of music, and then he starts playing, and it's kind of like boring. And then Mozart comes in and goes, "Oh, I see the basic gist of it," and he makes it all cool. And like Scolari has spent like all this time writing this piece, and Mozart just sits down and makes it way better in like 5 seconds. So if something like that would happen to me, then that would make me feel very threatened or emasculated or, ontologically wounded or something, but not TE because I don't value it. That band Prodigy, I kind of like that one song of theirs. It was a hit, Firestarter, I think it was called. But no, I wasn't a fan of the band, and I thought their whole get up was silly. Or the main guy's get up, I'm saving myself for marriage. I cannot wait to finally have sex. Well, I kind of do too, a little bit, Sam Smith. I think that, but then again, I don't. it's like it depends on the individual person, obviously, but for me, uh, it's never served me well to treat sex lightly. I mean, I wonder if other guys, like, I'm sure all guys at some point thought this too. It's like, well, probably if I were a chick, I'd be such a big slut, because I wouldn't have to do any of the man work. I wouldn't have to go pick up on any chicks. I wouldn't have to, I just sit there and let the dongs come to me, pick which one I was going to get shoved in me tonight, I guess, I I could see myself being much less relationshipy probably if I were a chick. I mean, it's just a hypothesis, but I became myself in a social environment where I had low reproductive viability, which is to say I wasn't included in dating in the school and stuff. It's like, I don't know, girls didn't know what to do with me. Nobody did, really. But I didn't know what to do with me either. I didn't know what to do with girls either. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? I'm supposed to know already, right? Because I have no fucking idea. That's the thing that would just, F-E. It's proven that humans that have no sex before marriage have better relationship in terms of love connection and stuff. That's not provable. If a penis was put in already, you are unpure. Okay, so Sam Smith, we're gonna have to be clear here. Penises cause instant impurity only in certain areas. For example, if your own penis hits the side of your side of your leg does not become impure. It's still pure. Okay. And let's say you are, um, undressing in your room, and you stand up on a chair to change a light bulb, and you're right in front of the door, and Jenny, your friend, walks in, and she accidentally bonks her face into your dong. Well, her face is not impure because it was totally unintentional. Neither of you had any knowing that was coming. Now, if she then stands there and lets your dong sit on her face for a prolonged period of time, her face becomes decreasingly pure. And the only way to fix it is with ivory soap. Is that true? 6'6"? I don't think that's true. I don't think my penis has changed size at all over the course of my life. I think it's the same size it's always been. Gargantuan, of course. It's like every man, pretty much, if they had the opportunity, would say, "Yeah, I'll go with gargantuan." But don't you think girls are going to find that maybe that might make girls uncomfortable? Even don't care. I'm going for gargantuan. No, Sam Smith, it is not for me. I will say that it's like it's kind of like you stop getting erections when you masturbate. It's kind of over time because you don't have to have one to ejaculate, but But that's only if I masturbate with no porn. The other thing is, the one smart thing that stupid guy said in that video, the man from Mars, woman from Venus guy, the one smart thing he said, and I heard the reason I really actually am saying this is smart is because my ESFJ neighbor told me this a long time ago, and I remember thinking, that sounds smart when he said it then, which is if your sex life is kind of like if you get you get used to each other and you stop having sex quite so often or whatever, just go a full week. Like don't come for a full week, and then after 7 days, then hump, and you'll be like, oh my God, hunger. The thing is, I always notice my sexual hunger very late. Like, I'm like, oh, right. I'm horny. Oh, that's what it is. It's not something I pay attention to. I haven't in a while. I don't know the last time I've gone a full week, but I am sure I could. I probably have within the last few months gone a week. I definitely did when Rachel was in New York because I had gotten used to humping all the time. So I didn't get back into fapping until after she was gone for a while. In more esoteric forms of Christianity, following the will of God is the same as following what's good for. Not committing sins is you not transgressing against yourself. Well, I mean, as always, I would point out that the key distinction to be made is the one between positive moral indications and negative moral prohibitions. So God's rules are clear when it comes to negative moral prohibitions because those are easy to clarify. They're predicated on rights violations, and if a rights violation occurs, then it's transgressive. Me neither, Sam Smith. I don't have any interest in that. I have no interest in putting my penis in the poop hole. I mean, it's as though it's kind of like COVID. It's this weird mass insanity. Does nobody realize that that's where poop comes from? There's poop in there. Why do you want to go anywhere near that part? I mean, even if you got an adorable little anus like Rachel does, I still don't want her to hump it. It's like that's the worst of all 3 holes by far. I mean, actually, I've never done it, to be honest. I've never had anal sex. I've never poked a girl in the butt. Does that make me like a hick? A hick who's inexperienced, doesn't know anything about life or something? Because it hurts the girl? That's not why I don't have anal sex. I don't want to get poop on my penis. I don't know if it would hurt her or not. I would hope not. I don't want, not actual pain. Actual pain is not hot at all. It's like, there's some kinds of, I guess you'd say, totemic pain associated with doesn't anal assist in soul stealing. I'm not caught up on all the latest soul stealing techniques. I would guess probably the soul is most easily pulled out from the butthole, but that's just a guess. I think you need a coven of 13 butthole grabbers to pull the soul out. No, I know, curious Kyra. Look, I'm aware of the fact that you got your poop up in your intestine, right? And then you got your butt area. You're like inside your butt area. The poop only is in there when you really have to poop. or when it's actually leaving your body. But don't be fooled, Kyra. Don't be fooled. Do you think about this. When you wipe your butthole, what do you get on the paper? Some brown stuff, right? And you keep wiping your butthole until it's all clean. What don't you do? You don't reach way up inside your butthole and wipe up there. If you did, I bet it would be the same thing. It would be brown. There'd still be poop residue up there. So I think we can write off the idea that it's hygienic right away. I don't care if there's a whole poop in there or not. There's still poop in there. There's still bits of poop, you know. You don't want to go up in there. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. A lot of people do, I guess, but okay, why? I mean, this is the thing. I even get grossed out by, like, I won't come on Rachel's face. It certainly won't come in her mouth. It makes me gag. Just even like it seems like such a great idea, right? When you're about to ejaculate, I always point it away at the last second, because if I actually follow through, then after I'm done, it's like, oh, I'm gonna puke. This is gross. There's nothing grosser than semen, you know. It's like this gooey white stuff. Oh, coffee. That's what I need to do. I need to make a cup of coffee. I need to make a pot of coffee. I mean, the thing is, Sam Smith, it's so much better when you don't pull out, right? It's so much better when you don't pull out. But I only don't pull out a few days a month when I'm quite confident that she's about to have a period. Because we don't use any birth control. I mean, the thing is, yeah, the thing is, I have to pull out because we don't have any birth control. Otherwise, I would never pull out. I hate pulling out. It's ridiculous. It's like, basically, you don't finish having sex, you finish by masturbating. Yeah, pulling out's a form of birth control. Sure. Rachel's not going to get pregnant. She's fine. She's 35. She's never been pregnant before. Don't pull out. Abortions are cheap. Now, Sam Smith, that is simply awful. Yeah. Yikes. Don't yikes me. Tiny man 6'6". Hey, that was my whole first relationship, too. The thing is, the only time I've ever gotten anyone pregnant is the 1 month that I personally wanted to and was trying to get someone pregnant. Now, my second wife, she wanted to get pregnant, and I tried to cooperate with her on that, but I didn't really want to have another kid anyway. But I did get my first wife pregnant as soon as we stopped using birth control. I was like, okay, now I'm getting you pregnant, and it was like, boom, she's pregnant. But then second wife, she never got pregnant, but that's because she was, what's the proper, you're not supposed to call them barren anymore. What is it called? There's some better word they use for that than that now. It just got brought up. I don't know. We just started talking about shit. Infertile. Okay. Yeah. Why is pull out bad? Well, because, you know, it's like, it's just, you know, you just want to yeah, take that. You know, if you're pulling out, you got to be a little bit careful. So you got to kind of pull out when you know, it's just not, it's not ideal, but it's still fine. It's whatever. It's like, we have great sex, so I don't care. It's fantastic. I mean, you know, I'm 49 and she's 35 and she's a young looking 35 and boom. I mean, it's like gravity does not affect her. She defies gravity, that woman. Just, they invented the word pert for her rather voluminous breasts. No, the woman finishes before. Uh, she has to finish before. Okay, and she normally manages that just fine. If she doesn't finish before, then she's fucked and too bad. I Once I come, I'm done. That's it. No, I don't want to reach over there. No, I'm done. I'm going to sleep. Sorry. I am a man after all. No, I don't. It's like it was almost a conflict for us because it was like she's like this not fair. You know, I said, well, look, I don't want you to do anything you don't feel comfortable with, and I'm sure you don't want me to do anything I don't feel comfortable with. And that was all there was to say about it. I don't like doing that. That's it. Nothing else to say about it. I mean, I'd be happy to breastfeed for hours on end, but well, not really. It's only a little while before it's time to hump. You know, it's cheating. It's not cheating. You guys don't understand anything. We have a great relationship, sexual relationship. Okay. Um. Yeah, sure. She has to have a lot of my penis in her mouth. That's true. Because that's my penis is home. It's its garage. It's where it lives. In contrast, her vagina does not live in my mouth. And hence, as a consequence, I mean, the thing is, I had that thing ruined for me by previous partner. Rachel, if there's anybody in the world that I would be perfectly happy to go down on, it would be Rachel. She's like clean, clean, clean. It's not hypocritical. It's just the way of our sex life. It might sound unfair to you from an outsider's perspective, but everybody has their own particular shit, you know? I mean, it's like um I'm kind of lazy and imperious in bed. I am here. You are here to please me. You know, I don't know what to tell you. No, I am TE. I like being bossy and stuff, you know, but I wouldn't call me empirical. I don't write down data. I'm not scientific now. There's no beakers and no Bunsen burners in bed. That's disgusting. I know. Well, that's implicit in a lot of heterosexual relationships. There's this, you know, sex is this weird realm of pretend um, power inequity, right? No, I'm not interested in a bunch of equipment or shit like that. I don't. All I need is to take her clothes off. I don't need a bunch of stuff, you know. Like, and here's a little mask for you to wear, and here's a hat, and here's some lingerie. Why are we getting you dressed again? I just got you naked. Am I inquisitive? What am I doing? Asking questions of her butthole or something? So, what did you really mean when you whispered that fart last night? Am I introspective in bed? Um, I mean, I like to get my dick sucked. Is that introspective? I don't know. That sounds introspective, I think. Well, Rachel's a very good girl, let me tell you. Very well behaved, very eager to please. Makes me horny just thinking about it. Why are we on this topic? Why are we start talking about this thing? It's like, oh, you mean going to sleep? After coming is this hazy 30-second moment before I fall asleep. I think your aversion is butt sex overshadows my own dirtiness. I mean, I actually try to be very clean for sex. I generally will bathe before sex. If I don't bathe all the way, I'll do a good undercarriage wash. No, I'm too old for round two. I don't need to prove anything. It's like that's a young man's game. Like, oh, I'm gonna go again tonight and prove what a stud I am. Who am I showing off for? Hell is the rejection of God. Did hell let God down easily, or did he hurt his feelings? You had a short period this month, Lawnmower? I'm glad. My period lasted 6 days, and the cramps were from hell. Let me tell you, it was all I could do on the last day, and I just go right out and buy myself a new Michael Kors bag because it was like, what is this? The parting of the Red Sea? I've heard of, yeah, but this is ridiculous. Gnostic. The Gnostics were famous for eating no cheese. It's true. That's why they both started their names with GN. Not a lot of words start with GN. GNU, Gnome, Gnostic, and Gnocchis. I'm pretty sure you had a dream of parting a sea last night. What does that mean? It means your ice maker on your fridge is going to break. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Oh, Gnarly. You're right, Raphael. Gnarly. I had forgotten all about Gnarly. I got Gnome already. Gnat. You're right. There's Gnat. Another one I missed. There are more GN words than I thought. It's already broken. Okay, then maybe it's the water dispenser. If not, do you have a water bed? Because if so, it probably meant you accidentally stabbed it in your sleep. Ganache? What's ganache? Is that a word? I don't think so. Ganache. I need a vocabulary update course. Okay. It's the first time anybody's ever said that to me. Notre Dame. Oh, I like hanging out around here with all of us silly people doing our thiggity thing. So Utter Self, I'll put the link. It's unlisted. I'll put a link to this humanity. I put it up briefly. I listened to it in the car, and I didn't like the mix of it at all. But anyway, it's a lot better than the last one I shared with you. So let me find it. Here it is. Pow. Copy link address. Pow.
Once I was asked long ago by some grown-up folks who just wanted to know what job did I want once I did grow up. Did I want to be a dentist? I'd like to be a rapping man. Stand on the stage, rapping some fans. Dancing, stamping, clapping their hands and proclaiming their devotion to the strapping man. Years later.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
To grow up, maybe do the adult thing. The jobs and work.
I wouldn't have expected you to be able to see it because I unlisted it not that long ago. Okay, well, there's a couple of things we do know for sure about hell. One, there are lakes of fire there. Two, you will be burned in the lakes of fire. And three, the devil will stab you with a pitchfork. I do know about Insane Clown Posse, but I'm not familiar really with their work. I don't know what they sound like. But I know that they drink that kind of soda, Fago. They're really into that. You love Fire and Pitchfork, you are going to love Hades. I want to show you a unit just around here, around the back. It's near one of the smaller lakes of fire. You're going to see some beautiful fire ducks in the wintertime. And yes, you can hunt them from your balcony. It's a little more expensive than the last unit, but I think it's going to be perfect for you and your damned family members. You know, in hell, that's just standard. It's not an insult. You know, you and your damn family members is just an accurate description once you're in hell. Bro, dude, IDK, if hell is like fire, though. A place of suckiness? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's how you deal with hell. If you find yourself in a place of general suckiness, just like this, yeet. That's how you do it. That's how it's done these days. Also remember, there's one circle of hell that's all ice where the bad popes go. If you read Dante's Inferno, you know this. They have a special circle of hell. It's just for evil popes. It's like, talk about not being very space conscious, right? They must have plenty of space to devote an entire level for just evil popes. Presumably, some of the popes must have made it into heaven, right? They can't all have been evil, right? Like, I wonder how, I don't remember how many popes were in hell when Dante visited it back in whatever year that was, but there were quite a few already there. Quite a few. You know, which really kind of makes me question the whole infallibility thing. Eve did the only thing she could. She started a douche company. Summer's Eve. Walt, do you ever feel not so fresh? Do I think there's any connection to psychedelics and what prophets experienced? I mean, the thing about prophets is they're, they're people who successfully sold their narrative. You know, it's not like their experiences were any different than anybody else's experiences. So, the only reason I'm not a prophet is because I haven't written a book and claimed it had magical origins. You know, that's all you got to do to be a prophet. And then if it sticks, you're going to have to convince people that you're right. You're telling the truth. And of course, you probably believe it yourself. All true art is kind of magical in origin. for many, many millennia, people have said that music comes from God, that they're the channel of it, that they don't create it, that they just channel it straight through the ether. It's a common narrative for millennia because it's true. I mean, well, maybe that's not why it's common, but it is also true. Oh no, she didn't metaphorically eat the fruit. She literally ate that fruit. It gave her the runs. She wasn't used to raw fruit. Prior to that, God had cooked all their fruit for them. That's when Lilith showed up. Lilith, where have you been? Sorry. I was at Nod. I was in the land of Nod. Well, I asked God for you a while back because I wanted another bitch to fuck, and I got kind of tired of Eve. So bend over. I'm sorry, we're no longer in the Garden of Eden. We aren't? No, remember Eve got us kicked out. Hey, I'm gonna spank her so hard. Who fucked her own sons? Lilith? Did she? I'm sure they were brawny lads. Lilith's sons are delicious? Cloud, that's very perverted of you. He was trying to go fruitarian, but God commanded raw meat diet. Yeah, it's true. All the other fruit trees in the Garden of Eden were actually meat fruits. It was before humans killed pigs and cows and stuff. They had hamburgers and pork chops and stuff growing on trees. It's just one tree. And God said, I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to make it the shittiest tree in the whole garden. This tree's not going to have any meat on it. It's just going to be fruit. And, but Eve was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm eating that thing. Nah, never mind. I'll get Adam to eat it. American hamburgers, of course. They're the kind of real hamburgers there are. Non-American hamburgers, you can't trust them. They should go immediately into quarantine. This, right now, what you're watching right now, Lawnmower, is the scariest movie ever. Let's pretend this is a TV show and it's scaring the living shit out of you right now. No. Oh, that was mistranslated. What it meant to say in the Bible was Eve fucked like a demon. According to Adam, she was just like, a freak. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense, right? All right, so I'm going to have to, well, they may not be loyal, Swift Eagle, but I have a message for you to take back to Lil B. All right? Here's the message. 0. You get 0, my bitches, Lil B. In fact, I'm taking all yours, so fuck off. Is that based enough for you? It looks like you unknowingly fucked with the wrong Eric, Lil B. You did. And now here I am laying it all up in your business. I'm giving you the, oh no, you didn't eyes. And denying you any of my bitches. So, suck it. Now that I've put Lil B in his place, I guess I can proceed on to my car errand that I have to do today. I've got to go help Delilah with her car, which needs to repair at the mechanical repair shop. You didn't. I personally handwrote, addressed, and sent out all the invitations. So maybe I purposely didn't invite you. No, I'm just kidding. I did invite you. You just lost the invitation. It's got an oil leak. It's leaking all over my ex-wife's father's driveway. Who's Dyer? Hi, Running Fox. I'm glad you're here. Rachel was somewhat, angry on your behalf. Talk to me a little bit about that stuff. Can we jump on where I quickly and discuss track? Yeah. Okay. Oh, see, the thing is, I got to be down there by 9. It's 8:30 right now. If you can come right now, we can do it right now, briefly. But yeah, I got to go do this shit. So I'll go into whereby right now. But if you can't do it right now, then we'll have to do it after I get back from the mechanic. Okay, you want to do it after I get back from the mechanic, or yeah, we'll do that or something. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Don't be afraid of lawnmowers unless you're made of grass.